Welcome to the Vocal Lab podcast with your hosts Shelby Rollins and Jason Catrone, bringing you the best from the music industry. Get ready for first-class conversations packed with exclusive techniques and transformative insights, all designed to help you reach your top note. Welcome to today's episode. I don't know what I started to say show. I started to say podcast.
Do it again. Episode.
Welcome to today's episode, Shelby. How are you?
Thank you, Jason. I'm good. How are you?
Yes, I'm great. Great.
And
what are you holding there?
Our brand new
Hey, look at this.
Vocal Lab podcast mug.
We've been talking about for like ages.
And now here we are.
And now we have them.
I feel like
it's the start of our merch line.
Kelly and whoever her co-host is.
Well, now it's her husband.
Kelly and Mark?
Yep.
Kelly and Mark. I feel like
it's been everyone except me, Kelly. I've always wanted to do that job, you know.
Yeah, well, Ryan Seacrest keeps taking all of your jobs.
He does. I should have
Dick Clark.
I should have mentored myself after Dick Clark instead of Tony Bennett.
Well, anyway.
So it worked for Ryan.
I feel like
sure.
Kelly Ripa, because I feel like they've had, branded cups on their show.
You know, to the point, have we talked about this before?
It feels like a talk show.
Yeah, because my grandma always watched that show growing up. And, I mean, not when she was growing up, when I was growing up. So I would almost every day in the summer especially see that show on when I would stay with her. And they used to give really great gifts. If you win that wheel thing, you get a good gift.
Yeah.
But the consolation is a coffee mug. I've always thought that was kind of like...
lame. Yeah.
For their budget?
You don't get to go to Greece, but you get a coffee mug.
Coffee mug. So maybe we'll do some type of game at some point.
Yeah, maybe a little spin a wheel. Do something.
Someone did win a mug today. I think we should set that up.
Somebody did win a mug today. That's a good transition.
Hey.
Nice segue. Okay, our guest today is Jeremiah Miller. Say hi, Jeremiah.
Hello. How you guys doing? We got the Vocal Lab podcast.
We're excited to have you here.
Yeah, glad you could be here, dude.
So Jeremiah is an artist, and he hails from the great state of Texas.
Where the horns are long.
Yeah, sure.
Which is crazy, too, because I did not realize, they do that. He's from Fort Worth, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
They do that, not arcade, cavalcade. What do they call it?
What does
Stampede.
Okay, yeah.
Don't they do that all
every
the time?
week, yeah.
That's crazy. Have you seen this?
I think maybe once a day, actually.
They march all these longhorn cattle and steers and studs and steeds through. That's why Carlos and I are going down soon.
My in-laws
You march
saw
through the
that
street.
recently. Yeah. So
and everyone lines up. It's like a parade.
It's a big deal.
You've obviously been to it.
In the stockyards, yeah.
My in-laws are from
looks really
Texas. They're from Amarillo, my in-laws. And my mother and father-in-law actually just went to that Stampede thing. Is that what it's called?
I have no idea.
I think so. I think it's
They
called
were talking about it. They were like, they didn't grow up in Dallas or from Dallas, but they went to Dallas and they were like, this is the thing we're going to do. We've never done this before in all of our Texas years.
You don't strike me as truly Texan.
I know. I was born and raised in Fort Worth, but don't got the country accent. Don't know what the Stampede is called.
Yeah, right?
I've been there, though. I love the stockyards. I've done some videos up there, but...
You spent your weekends in Dallas.
Yeah, I don't know where I spent my weekends. I was homeschooled till middle school, and yeah, I don't know where. I don't know why I'm not more country. My family is from Illinois, so we moved to Texas right before I was born. So that could be the reason why.
Is it an insult for him to say, you don't strike me as very Texas?
Nah, because
Texas people have a lot of Texas pride.
Right, my full name is kind of like a country name, so I'm chilling with that a little bit.
What's your middle name?
If you say my full name, it sounds country. Jeremiah Jeffrey Miller.
Or you did add a little twang.
Yeah, no, that was you can't say it without
Jeremiah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I don't know how to say that without.
It's true.
Well, you mentioned you referenced your videos, and that was actually one of the reasons I wanted to have you on the podcast, is because you've got such a really cool angle from a social media standpoint, and really I think where you've seen probably the most success, right, as a result of social media, which is the name of the game these days in the music industry. So tell us a little bit about that journey and where music started for you. And, you don't have to be like, I started singing when I was 2, unless you want to. But where you really started to take it seriously and kind of where you're at present day.
Feel like, I won't take it all the way back to 2, but I'll take it back to 13-ish, right?
Yeah.
Because that was the first time that I realized that I could sing was there was a video that my friend was taking of me, and he posted on the middle school page, and then the girls started liking me, and I was like, whoa. So I was like, okay, so I can kind of sing. They like me a little bit, so let me get into this. So
what's the middle school page? What is this platform?
Actually, it was Facebook back then.
Facebook, okay.
I don't know why I said middle school page. I think he just posted it to his personal, but it felt like a middle school page.
Is that where your buddies
I thought it
were?
was something
Everybody was on there. Yeah, back then there was like, rate, date, hate kind of thing. Like, to be honest, like everybody did it on Facebook. But anyway, yeah. And so I was like, all right, I can sing a little bit. So. And so I started a little boy band, and we shout out J Crew. And,
is that what it was called?
Yeah, the J Crew. Yeah.
Did the J Crew people come after you? You're like, y'all can't.
Nah, they did it. We didn't get too big, so they didn't
care. Didn't grow past the middle school.
Yeah, but we won a few talent shows, and then I started a new boy band after that. Started with John Michael Howe. We named it Miller and Howe. We did that. Did a lot of street performing and stuff like that. And then right out of high school, I went on The Voice. And that was kind of where I kind of started taking it more seriously. I thought that The Voice was going to just, ramp my career. I'm like, all right, I'm set.
Yeah.
As soon as the chairs turn, I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. Because when you're on the show, it really feels like a huge deal, which, it was great. But it's not as big of a deal as you think it is in the moment. And so after that, took it seriously after that.
How far did you make it in The Voice?
I made it top 32. I lost the knockouts. So I got knocked out of there. But and then from there, I took a few years off kind of because fell in love, lost the dream a little bit. Then fell out of love, and then, but when you fall out of love, it brings you back to your passion. And so, 2020 was when I really started honing in, started releasing original music and stuff like that. And then from there, I can kind of take you from there, but don't wanna bore you with the details. But yeah, so 2020, and here I am today. What is it? 2025 already. So
officially, you're our first episode of the new year.
Oh wow, let's go. That's amazing.
What is today? January 6th. I should know. This is my daughter's birthday, but anyway. So, okay, so let's kind of go in on that segment between 2020 and present day,
right?
Because I want to know, where did you kind of come up with? Tell us a little bit of give us some context for where your niche has landed you currently in social media. You have a whole thing going on your page. If anybody goes to any of your pages on all the social media platforms, they're going to very quickly see a specific type of video that you do a lot and that have brought you a lot of success.
Yeah, for sure. How did I get there, basically?
Or tell us what the videos are.
I would say they're public surprise performance videos. And I feel like not a lot of people possibly have the guts to do that. And so that's why it's doing as well as it is, because there's not a lot out there.
It's like a solo flash mob.
Right, yeah, solo flash mob.
Yeah.
And so, it takes a lot of guts to do it, I feel like. And so, that's why you don't see it out there, I feel like.
Yeah. Now, you specifically, though, are almost always on your skateboard when you're doing this electric skateboard thing.
Yeah.
That's cool. And you're carrying, I remember thinking because I saw you on social media one day, and I was like, what in the world is this guy doing? Because I want to say it was a video. The first one I think I saw was with you and John Michael Howe.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And y'all were doing something in Bryant Park in New York.
That's right.
And I instantly recognized the park because I lived there. And I was like, that's not Central Park, that's Bryant Park. And I was like, oh my gosh, look at these two guys on skateboards singing loudly, and then police are like, you have to go. They're kicking you out. And that kind of became the theme of a lot of them, is you basically go and perform until you get kicked out of spaces, right?
Yeah.
People, and not always do you get kicked out, because I think people also
sometimes
don't care. But so I was like, what is that? And I clicked over to your profile, and like, oh my gosh, he does this everywhere. So you're carrying around a speaker and a microphone, and you have this cool camera that you can't even see, but it's like following you around like an alien drone thing. And which can do all sorts of interesting things, like zoom into stuff. I don't even know. I mean, they're really cool, and they're well edited. What is it called?
A 360 camera.
360 camera.
360, yep.
Those are cool.
Yeah.
Because it can, see all the way around. And you're able to capture your own performance as you're wheeling around these different spaces, plus your audience. And I think one of the coolest things about it is how the audience is responding to a solo flash mob moment. What is this guy doing? Like, what is happening? You know? And people's reactions are so varied in that, but they're very funny a lot of times. And so now it's kind of like, ooh, where'd he go today? Where'd he get kicked out of today? I wonder if he got arrested, you know? So how
have you been arrested?
Everybody asks me that. I haven't even been ticketed yet.
What?
Really?
I feel like
that's crazy.
I'm realizing through this that you can get away with a lot more things than you think of. You know what I'm saying?
That's kind of scary.
But is there like this? Is there like this underlying like? Do you have a desire one day to maybe get arrested? Like, let's go all in.
Like, I would actually love to do a video inside of a jail, but I think that if they brought me to jail, I don't think they would let me.
I don't think they'd let you.
Probably not.
But I would love to do it like in a prison. Dude.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I don't want to get arrested, but I feel like my followers are loyal enough to bail me out if I do.
That's probably true.
Yeah, that's very true.
Probably would very quickly. So how did you come up with the idea?
It's been an evolving idea. It wasn't just like, it didn't just come to me. I didn't even realize that it was going to be centered around the reactions of people or that I would get into any conflict. I started by, 2020 through 2024, I've just been doing original music, only doing that online. Coming up with different content ideas. All of them were staged, basically all my content was staged before this. And so, I'd call a friend and have an idea and we'd, make some staged idea. And I didn't see a whole lot of success in it. I saw like a few videos go viral on Facebook, but I also wasn't releasing enough original music. I can't write very fast. And so I wasn't getting enough content out there because I would make, 4 or 5 videos for one song and then I feel like I'm boring my audience. So I was at a place where I was like, all right, if I want to grow, I have to be consistent with, my content and consistent with something for my followers. And so I was just sitting there in the gym and as you do, you pray in the gym, right? not often, but I was just like, God, what should I do for consistency? And first thing I felt like was like riding around on the one wheel and busking, like street performing. And that wasn't some random thing that came to me. John Michael and me had done a few like random things with the one wheel, like singing on it through a neighborhood, like an empty neighborhood, and we would video each other. But none of those really went crazy. But I was like, all right, let's just run with it. I'm just going to do the same thing. And I don't know how long it'll take to pop off, but I'll just get on the one wheel, sing, every day, whether it's my music or cover songs. Because it felt like I was kind of, I guess, taking a step back by doing cover songs because I didn't have enough original music. I'm like, I just don't know what to do other than cover songs. So started doing that. First video I ever did was in Dallas. And I didn't even have the speaker yet. I didn't know that I was going to be doing it for the people. Like, I was doing it for online,
Yeah.
So all I had was the audio recorder in my hand, a mic, and like it was just some random guy. You could just hear me like a cappella. You couldn't hear any music.
Yeah.
And so people's faces were still weird, but nobody was enjoying it. And I was like, all right. So that was fun. And then my mom saw the video and she was like, well, can't you like get it to where the people can hear the music too? And I'm like,
come on, Mom. That's a good idea.
And I was like, well, actually, I just purchased a speaker for street performing because, like I said. And so I was like, yeah, I could probably just like hold that thing. And at this point I had been riding that one wheel for like 2 years. So don't do this at home, kids. Don't like, pick up, the board, like buy it and then
your
grab
hands
a
are full
speaker.
in these videos.
Yeah, it's no joke. Like actually, side topic, I found this guy that tried to do, hopefully he's not watching. He's a cool guy, but like he found me somewhere in Cincinnati, Ohio. He found me. He comes up with my exact setup, speaker,
really?
like board,
No way.
yeah, camera, all this stuff. And I was flattered, but I was like, this is crazy. And so on my break, because I was there to like perform, some place hired me, but on my break, he gets out there and starts doing it. And I'm like, this is awesome. But then he falls and I'm like,
oh no.
And so I was like, I felt bad for him, but yeah. So
how often do you fall?
I don't fall because I'm a pro.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm a pro. Like, I've been doing it for, I mean, there are actually pro boarders, but I don't actually, I'm not a legitimate pro, obviously, but I've been doing it 2.5 years, 3 years before I even started doing this.
I mean, you had to probably create some kind of like physical stamina to be able to do that and sing at the same time.
Yeah, it's not the easiest thing, I feel like. But yeah, so from there I started actually bringing the speaker out, and then I realized, okay, people are reacting to me, so I can start, showing their reactions. And I still didn't know if it was a cool idea, really. I mean, I was having fun, but first video, second video, third video, fourth video, like I said, I was trying to stay consistent, and so I thought it was gonna take, many videos, but by the fourth video was the one that just like went crazy, and I was like,
which one was that?
Rough. Have you ever seen the one where the Karen is kicking me out and she brings me to the police?
Yeah. Yes, that one's good. I've seen
That's the one. So that was the one. I didn't even realize I was going to post that. Like, I was thinking, because that was the first time I had any conflict with the idea.
People like the conflict.
Yeah, and I didn't know that people would like the conflict. So I was like, I'll probably not even post that. But I started editing it. I was like, wait, this is like actually pretty cool. And so I posted
It's
it.
because it raises the stakes. Like, I've learned in like some business and social media practices and stuff of education that like whenever you can raise the stakes in a video, it keeps people kind of on the hook. Like, what is about to happen? They want to keep watching. They want to see what ends up happening. That was a great example of that.
Yeah, like a movie. If you already know what the end is going to be like, it's very more likely that you'll hop off. But if there's some anticipation, then you'll stick around.
Have you noticed in the course of, because you've now done how many of these types of videos?
Yeah, a lot. I don't know.
100 or something?
I've at least I've performed many of them. I've probably only posted 35 or something, maybe. I don't know, 30.
Well, in all of these, I'm sure if you're watching the metrics and views and stuff, you probably can tell which videos do better than others.
Yeah,
and I'd be curious to know, is it the ones where there's more conflict that are better?
Yeah,
in terms
I think
of
so.
views.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
People love the drama,
Always.
It's exciting.
Yeah. At what point did you start to see the intersection of what you were creating for just social media content and your music? Because obviously, I would think music is still your first love, and that's your main thing. And I think every creative, and maybe talking to this a little bit too, every creative who's having to struggle with this right now, especially as a musician, I think they're all trying to understand, how do I make this social content part of what I have to do fun and engaging so that I want to do it, much less what people want to watch. That's a big part of it too. But maybe give a little of your own side of that and what how you kind of navigate all that, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because music is, like you said, the first love. Like, everything I do on social media is rooted in music. You know, like, I've never done any video that wasn't music related or me singing in it. So, it all feels like music to me. But, I was talking to some people, and I feel like what you have to do, I feel like in the music industry now, you can't, feel like, all right, this is what I have to do, and I have to do exactly like this because this person did it, and that's how he reached success. Like, you have to do things that play into your own strengths. And so for me, I didn't even realize that I had this strength, mainly, but I'm willing to, do things that are, very nerve-wracking, and so... Yeah. And so that's, kind of, I played into that, and I realized that people like that. And so that's kind of how it switched. But it's always been music. The content creation was for the music. And so, it's just a byproduct of it. But I love, doing content too. And I feel like I said, you shouldn't be you shouldn't force it, for me, if I could force it, I would say, all right, I'm just going to do Spotify, and I'm not going to do anything else. But I'm just kind of going with the flow and, like I said, playing to my own strengths. And maybe I just continue to be some content influencer and I never become a big artist or whatever. I hope not, but that's I'm not going to force anything,
Yeah. So 2024 was sort of the year that you started doing a lot of this, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Where were you in terms of I followed you on Instagram. That's where I found you, right? And so I'm trying to remember how many followers you had 6 months ago or whatever it was. But where were you at the beginning of 2024 and where are you now? And how has all of that taken off and what is the growth that you've seen this year?
I think right now I have something like all across all the platforms, I have like something like 3.7 million followers.
That's amazing.
And at the beginning of 2024, I've gained 3.6 of those this year in the past
That's
7
crazy.
months, 8 months, yeah.
And you're you said 7?
Like 3.7, and I gained 3.6 of those in all
What
this,
the heck?
Yeah. So Instagram, TikTok, I had like something around 10,000 followers. Facebook was my biggest platform. I had like 100,000. So.
And that was after The Voice.
That was after The Voice. The Voice didn't do anything. I mean, I wasn't ready for The Voice too. I feel like I could have leveraged it a lot better afterwards, but The Voice didn't do any of that. Like, yeah.
What is there one thing you can point to, and maybe not, that sparked that 3.6?
Oh yeah. This idea that we're talking about right now is that it was that first video and then continuing on from there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just this one idea. And then it's really cool though, because recently I've been venturing off to new ideas and they've also been getting millions of views. And I'm like, whoa, people like me now for like more than just this idea. Like,
that's cool.
And so, sometimes it's just that one idea or that one thing that really, takes you off. And then from there, you're able to have all these different options.
Have you seen it? Because I know this is also a big deal. Shelby and I work with quite a few influencers, and it doesn't always translate to the music. People fall in love with maybe
For sure.
the shtick, if you will, that you do socially or content creation wise, but they don't follow you over to the music. How's that been in your experience?
It's definitely not like, for a guy that has 3.7 million followers, like I should have like a lot on Spotify, if it's mainly music. I have about like 50,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. And my latest single, it's done like 200,000 streams or so, and that's good for me. So it's definitely helped me. It hasn't harmed me, my Spotify or anything like that.
Tell people the name of your song.
Oh, that one's called Fly.
It's a good bop.
Fly.
I like that
you like that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everybody go listen.
Yeah, that's good. But so from there, basically. It hasn't harmed me. It's only helped me, but it hasn't like taken off. Granted, I've only done like 3 to 4 videos for that song. Like I said, most of my stuff is covers. I'm trying to, I'm about to release a new one and keep going. But
why do we think that is? I know that's
I was
a
thinking
deep
about this
question.
when you were talking about
not
something.
Easy to answer, or maybe even answerable at all.
I mean, the covers. I think it's wise to do what you did, and especially for the public busking performances, because people know those songs, and so they're more likely to sing along and then kind of be like, oh yeah, cool. And it's sort of how you hook somebody in, so that then when you do release a song, they're like, oh, that's exciting, I love this guy's videos, so let me go listen to now it does put a lot of pressure probably to like release a really good song, because if your song's pale in comparison to the covers that you're doing, then it's like womp womp.
Yeah,
but your song's great.
Thank
I've
you.
listened to the song several times. It's a really good song when you put it out there. But I kind of wonder if that's the main reason. People just love what's familiar. And then when you have something really entertaining that combines that, it's sort of fusing a brand new idea and a brand new personality with something that's familiar that we all love.
Tested, yeah.
Maybe that is the key. Maybe it's the familiar. Because even on the social media side of what you create, because it's consistently the same thing, it becomes familiar.
Yeah.
So they look for that every time.
Yeah.
Same thing with the cover of a song cover as opposed to a new song. I don't know. I just find it really interesting that I think it also tells a lot about the fickleness of people in general. We're all very easily distracted from one thing to the next so quickly, and there's so much out there.
For sure.
And we're very fickle people by and large, But again, it's the great challenge for every creative to, especially when it's the one thing you want to do more than anything else.
Yeah.
And I know every artist right now is dealing with this struggle of having to create things around that aren't necessarily that.
Exactly.
And a lot of artists that I talk to and that I work with really fight that and push back. So it's cool to see you embracing it,
Right.
seeing the success of that.
Yeah.
And also just sounds like you're having fun with it.
Yeah,
You know, and I think that's the main point.
Yeah.
So
When you can make it fun, it works.
You said that you've changed up a little bit of the strategy from the skateboard to sort of testing the waters of a new idea. What is the new idea?
Well, it's that one that we were talking about before camera. So right now what I'm doing, and I have a new title for it, you know, so it might help a little bit. But now it's called The Uninvited Wingman.
Oh, yes, yes. Okay.
So basically, you know, and I'm spinning this off to a few new ideas. But this one is where I go up to, you know, couples that I see out and about and act like the guy hired me to sing for his girl, you know? And so I have like, it's a similar thing, right? So we still get reactions of people around. We go to a public place, we get the reactions of the couple, but it's more centered on like one couple instead of the whole, you know, flash mob thing. And that's kind of a trend online, I feel like, is to like center on one normal person, you know, and make like a story out of it. And it kind of like shows everybody that everybody's special, I guess, you know, and that's kind of like a trend. And so, yeah, so I tried to take that. I also tried to take this other trend. It's called the public resist, where like this kid like goes up to couples and he's like, you know, he would be like, "Hey, bro, aren't you the guy who like bought my gas last week?" And like the guy will either like play along with it or not.
Or be like super confused.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's what's been going on. Like I'm like, "Hey, is this her? Like, is this the girl?"
Yeah,
and then I just have like friends with me. They like throw out this big old heart shape on the ground. We got a smoke machine going.
Oh my gosh.
That's so good.
Amazing.
And so yeah.
Yeah, and I did. I watched one of those.
Right.
I think, were you at, we were talking about the Gaylord hotels. Were you at the Gaylord in Dallas? Because I remember thinking it looked familiar, the space, because we have one here. And yeah, it's this couple, and they're FaceTiming with
That's
like,
right.
their daughter, maybe?
I've done like 3 of them already, but yeah.
Yeah, and you kind of were like, "Hey, is this her?" And the guy's kind of like, "Huh?" Like, and I had to watch it again to be like, "Oh my gosh, she's pretending like this guy hires him." Like, that's brilliant. But those, and honestly, you know, me watching it again just adds another view. It made me curious. It made me kind of really interested. And I did like the idea that it was a different angle.
Yeah.
Do you have a system for picking your victims, or is it just random?
It's funny you call them victims because I call them victims too. No, I just like, we'll just walk around, you know, like amongst like, you know, some place where it's kind of popular, and we'll just find couples, and then
Just get a
we
feel
kind of
for
like
it.
look at them. I tell my videographer, I'm like, all right, down.
Watch them for a minute.
Yeah.
Watch
And then
their
we just-
interaction.
we just go up.
Just go in for the kill.
Yeah, because like sometimes, you know, one of them has turned like badly. He was like, "No, I'm not the guy," but like he was like, he even, because I also give the rose to a girl, and he took the rose from his girl, gave it back to me, and I'm like, what? But I kept going because people were watching. Like the show must go on. You know?
Yeah, totally.
But yeah,
That's
crazy.
funny. Well, and you mentioned a little bit ago about how when you tapped into a strength of yours about just kind of being bold and being willing to do things that most people wouldn't do, has, I think, probably been one of the biggest reasons that you've had some success. Because, I mean, when your mom suggested, why don't you just, like, can you make it to where other people can hear you? And you're like, well, I mean, I have this speaker. Who would think about carrying it around, especially on a skateboard, you know, and risk your life? And you're, like I said, your hands are full. You've got so much going on. You always have like a backpack.
Yeah.
Because you got some of the gear back there, right? The camera's like floating around in front of you. You got a microphone. You're holding a speaker.
Right.
Most people would look at that and be like, logistically impossible. Not going to try that.
I thought it was, yeah.
You kind of looked at it like, well, why not try?
Right, yeah.
You know, and I think that's probably one of the biggest things that keeps people, myself included, held back from trying something that could be the next step through the next door they need to walk through that they really want. And they're just maybe like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. Or they let all of the questions, the obstacles hold them back. And you're like, why not just carry a speaker around and give this a shot? But I mean, if you hadn't done that, you wouldn't be here today, you know, being on our podcast.
No, yeah, for
But
sure.
yeah, and you know, the new idea to try something like, what if I did this? I could really make somebody mad, or you know, whatever. But you're just kind of like, actually, maybe this could be really cool. And just being willing to do something that 99.9% of the population are not willing to do.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, that's just hard work. It's discipline, right? But it is also, I think, carrying through on a really good idea that if you think too much about the how and the logistics, you'll never execute.
Yeah.
But if you just try something, you can iterate. And I'm sure even your own setup and your thing probably progressed and advanced every time you tried. You're like, well, now I need to try this, right?
Yeah.
You had to evolve the idea to make it sharp, right?
I learned through it. Yeah, I tried. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I said, before this, I tried many other content ideas too. If you look, on my Instagram, like you'll see different things. And like I said, they were all staged, but it's all different things. And that's the premise of the story, I think, is just trying. And like I said, the first video, no speaker, no nothing, like it didn't do very well. And so it's just about trying. And then from there you progress. Like now I have the speaker in my backpack. Now I have, everything's wireless. I used to have a wire that was going around too. And I've figured out new ways to make it
Now he's got a helicopter over there, just like films it all.
Right. So yeah, I think it's just about trying things, being willing to try, and like humble yourself, right? Because like it's
Be
hard.
willing for it to suck a little bit.
Yeah, right. Because the first video, like I'm just going around this random place and I'm just singing a cappella, and it's like that's kind of embarrassing,
Right, yeah.
But it turned into something great.
Well, and I think that speaks into the bigger issue of it all. Is it all, like everything, goes back to ego. You have to, like you said, humble yourself, which is the biggest step into managing the ego and allowing yourself to be in front of people, to be laughed at, to be maybe yelled at, to be maybe it's pushing into that uncomfortable, and also just the silly stupid of like, why not? And
how bad do you want it?
Right.
And how bad could it be?
Yeah.
And sometimes things that are really bad, as we know, also elevate people to great levels of success.
Yeah,
And so
some
it's
of
like
the best videos that you share to people are like, this is so bad. It's embarrassing or whatever. And now, next thing you know, that person's getting brand deals.
no, totally. I think I may have told you and Carlos this, but I did a Christmas, like a jazz brunch at this club here in town over Christmas.
I didn't get the update on how did that go.
Well, listen, I didn't invite anyone because
you did it. You didn't invite me.
I didn't invite anyone.
Rude.
And my friend Aaron invited 5 huge, like I'm talking huge music people that had never heard me before.
Oh wow.
And I wanted to
Let's invite
literally
them on the
like
podcast.
I literally wanted to kill her. And the reason I'm saying all that is this, because it was awful. It was really awful in my own experience, because I was the one on the frickin' stage doing the thing. There was no rehearsal. I'd never played with these 3 guys before, ever. I didn't know the arrangements we were doing. It was literally like, let's just go as we go. And I'm not like a true jazz singer, as you know. So it's like I didn't grow up like riffing off the players and like I know my thing and I'll deliver it. But I was so uncomfortable. I was so nervous, and I just thought it sucked. And everyone loved it. And the people who know me really well said it was one of the best things they ever saw me do.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, and I still don't understand it. I get the fact that I mean, I know it's like kind of some of what I did, it was like the tones coming out and just the, but to the point, yes, putting myself in a place of uncomfortability, humbling myself to not being perfect, because I think that too is when you're on stage, whether it's in a camera or an actual stage, every artist at some level wants it to be great and perfect. But the reality is a lot of times it's the silly, it's the dumb, it's the stupid, it's what we think is the worst that really resonates the most with people. And maybe that's because we remove so much of ourselves that just the true authenticity
Exactly,
goes
it's
through
the
that.
authentic.
You know? So it was just a great little reminder to me and a lesson to me personally, even to just do what you want to do and have fun with it and let it land like it's supposed to.
Yeah.
And you're not going to win them all, obviously, right?
For sure not. Yeah.
And then sometimes you win, you don't think you will.
Yeah. Now, obviously, we've talked a lot about the metrics of your growth, but has this also then translated in the bottom line? Like, if you starting to monetize and people reach out to you and be like, offer you a job opportunity, a performance opportunity, or anything that's actually helping pay the bills?
Yeah. I mean, I've made more money than I ever had this year. Like, it hasn't been anything crazy, but it's respectable, big one money now.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's go. At the beginning of this year, I was like,
because we are taking investors.
Okay, nice.
Would you like to be a sponsor? Podcast.
And that's the thing. Like, if I would have just been so honed in on like, all right, it's only original music. Like I'm just gonna keep on doing this, even though it wasn't, working well for 4-ish years or whatever. It's like, then I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And it was like trying new things and. Yeah, like monetization, like, people are hitting me up now, brand deals and stuff like that for videos. And
that's awesome.
Obviously, the videos monetize themselves. So it's been a great year. And I hope to bring the success to other things, like Spotify, YouTube, etc. But I'm just kind of enjoying, the success that I am having. So
that's really cool. And I remember a while ago you did a thing where you were asking your audience to vote on what city you went to next to do your next video. Did you do that for a long time?
I did that for just a few times. Like they voted, I think that's the reason why I went to New York. Where else? I think there was like one other city that I went to. I think I need to do that more because that was fun. But because I also have a lot of credit card points. So I can fly, I don't remember what?
Fly for free.
Oh my gosh, I don't remember the last time I paid for any kind of flight because I do something called credit card hacking. We won't get into that.
Oh, this sounds interesting. I don't even know what that is.
Maybe for a different time.
Like you hack people's credit cards. This is how you pay for everything. Now I get your game.
It's legal.
We don't need the Fed coming after you.
Know that.
It's all good. They know what's up. So
you know what's funny about that is like I will protect my airline points more than I do my bank account.
That's funny.
It's so
You're
weird.
very precious about it.
Well, yeah, but they've done tons of studies on this too, like the whole like marketing behind what are they called? Like not reward points. I mean they are called that, but there's a term for what they are.
Miles.
No, just the whole like the concept behind rewarding people for being loyal. I forget what that's called, but there's a lot of research and science behind it. And the airline miles, the point system has been one of the most like clever and successful gimmicks of all time.
Wow.
Like because people do that. People will just like hold them so tightly, and plus it like built up that loyalty with people. You know?
Yeah, I'd rather spend money than use my points because it feels like I can get anywhere. I've like
totally
right, yeah.
So it's the brand new year. What are some of the big goals you've got for your content game and your music this year?
Yeah, it's switching to new ideas, trying new things. Because the one wheel thing is like really fun, I'm having fun with it, but it's like I don't want to keep on doing the same thing over and over. It's like my bread and butter, so I'll probably always stick it around. But for now, I want to switch it to YouTube. I want to bring my following to YouTube. I want to bring my following to Spotify. I'm releasing a new song soon, and we'll continue to do that. Hopefully, release way more songs this year than I did last year.
Yep.
And we can switch to a lot of original songs other than cover songs.
Yeah.
So
maybe move to Nashville.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know, and
peer pressure's on.
There is a lot of peer pressure, but
isn't this a swooning town?
Yes,
everybody comes here and they're like, like stars in their eyes, and I think Nashville has the gift of woo.
Yeah,
it just brings people.
If you knew my niece that I have back at home, then you
Aww.
There we go.
She can't let go.
Right, I can't let go. She don't care.
How old is she?
She's 2, and I have a new niece now. So and my family, we're just all really tight. So
totally.
I mean, and I've always loved Fort Worth. The more that I travel, the more I realize how much I love it, and so. I'll stick there unless it's like a God thing, like go to Nashville. Like I'm definitely...
You can always take extended trips too. I think people. I remember having a client a long time ago who really struggled with the idea of leaving home, and finally did eventually make a move. But it was, I think, this idea that if you move, then it's this permanent decision. Where it's not. Like you could even do just like a 3-month. Trip, essentially. That's a long-term trip that kind of gives you the opportunity to do a lot of co-writing, get some traction, meet some people, make relationships, and switch up your content, but it doesn't have to be a permanent change.
You've convinced me. Yeah, I'm coming to Nashville.
All right, there you go. See more of you.
Yeah, I always travel, too, so it's not like I can't fly back to home real quick. So, but we'll see.
Well, thanks for coming on, sharing your story. It's really super interesting. And I love anybody who's doing something really different and unique.
Yeah.
Especially, there's such a like love-hate relationship people have with social media. So to see somebody who's really enjoying the creative side of content creation, while not neglecting the music, but using it as a leverage point to elevate the music and grow your audience, which is a necessary part of this, is just really cool. It's it's very inspiring to hear about. Yeah.
We'll have all your links posted.
Okay.
Everyone out there listening and watching, support your creatives.
Yes.
Like, give them likes, give them comments that are nice most of the time.
I don't mind the hate ones.
Yeah, the hate ones are good too, but like, be nice about, don't cut too deep. Don't be like, you're ugly. Like, but yeah, just support your favorite creatives in every way you can, because it pays the bills and helps fuel the fire, if you will. So thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
Great to meet you, and look forward to see what's next.
Appreciate it. Vocal Lab Podcast. Let's go.
Cheers.
Cheers. Let's go. I get to keep this forever.
Look at that. There
It's
you go.
yours.
Let's go.
All you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Vocal Lab podcast. Ready to join the top ranks of the music industry? Don't forget to follow and subscribe for more first-class conversations that make the extraordinary your new ordinary. Until next time, keep striving for your top note.